Good afternoon, folks. Today is gonna be a different kind of thought. Something to think about here. The Sandy Hook victims' families, and yet one survivor gets a $73 million, agrees to a $73 million lawsuit. Yes, I get it. What happened was terrible. It never should have happened. I get it. Everyone should know that. It never should have happened. Same with Marjory Stoneman Douglas High School. None of that should have happened. But our justice system is frauded. It's fraudulent when it comes to that stuff. Why? First of all, blaming the gun company when you should be suing the person who did it. A gun doesn't fire on its own, and it's been proven. The only way you can possibly do that is if you put a machine behind it, if it's not a person, and it fires mechanically. That's the only way it can be done. And that's been done on Mythbusters. For like funny tests and things like that nature. That's where it's been done. But if you do it like a person, the only way it's possibly to be done that way is if you have like certain people behind the gun. The only way a gun can possibly go off is if there's a person behind it. Only blame the person. How can you possibly pull it off? What are we accomplishing here? Nothing. And what did we just do? We just opened the door of suing a car company. I mean, if my parents passed away due to an auto accident due to a drunk driver, they just opened the door for me suing the car company. It's that simple. I can just now go out and sue the car company. Hey, you killed my parents. I'm suing you. It's a two-way street. You made it simple. I mean, it's literally like how they made it. They sold it to the person who was gonna have the gun. The mother technically had the gun. Then the crazy man by the name of Adam Lanza went in there and killed his own mother before he ran out that attack. And sure enough, it happened. And yeah, he deserves what he gets. It's sad. It's sad what happened. As of the Marjory Stoneman Douglas High School, when you wear a badge and you are a police officer of any kind, regardless of what you are, whenever you hear something going on that sounds like something going off inside, you go in and investigate it. If it sounds like fireworks going off, you don't just sit outside. You go in and investigate it. You don't just stand outside. No matter if you die or not, going in to find out what's going on. That's your job. Yeah, I get it. You don't want to die. But still, you put that badge on for a reason. You put that badge on because you swore an oath to protect your citizens from foreign and domestic enemies. And that guy was a domestic enemy. And he attacked students as they were escaping the facility. And yet he walked in without anybody knowing it. And then he set out the fire alarm and opened fire on individuals, and he walked out right with them. But somehow, he managed to be caught just right down the road from the high school. Simple. But all he had to do was one thing. It's just that simple. But they just opened the door for other things to happen. Let's just sue the company of cars if there's drug addicts or people who are high behind the wheel or drunk behind the wheel and run people over. Let's just sue the car company instead of suing the person who actually hit the person instead of holding the people accountable behind the wheel or behind the gun. Let's just sue the company. That's simply what this is saying. Instead of holding the person accountable who did the crime, hold the whole entire company accountable. What message are we sending here? We're not sending a good message. There's a message between holding a company liable and holding individuals liable. Where do you draw the line? The place where you draw the line, the only way you could possibly draw the line is when you know the person. The only way you could possibly hold a company liable is that the company knew the person was deranged and they sold them the weapon. That's the only way you can hold a company liable. Same when it comes to drunk driving. You knew the person was a drunk driver and you handed them the vehicle. And you knew they were drunk and plowed when they walked in there. That's when you can sue someone. Then they just drove out and plowed into someone. That's when you can sue a company. That's when you can hold them liable. You can sue both the person and the company. That's the only way you can possibly hold them liable. Other than that, you technically can't hold them liable because the background check came back, hey, this person never really did anything. He had no, because all the background checks we have in place already here in Ohio and I'm sure other states, it says, hey, this person checks out good. He checked off all the other stuff. He's good. Hey, hand over. I mean, what's next? Everything's going to have to come back and say, hey, this person needs a psychiatric evaluation before he gets anything. I mean, that's literally what this world's come to. Next thing, before I buy something that requires a background check, I'm going to have to get a psych eval done. Wonder what they mean by psych eval. Comment down below what do you think they mean by psych eval when it comes to some things. I mean, I don't know. Some jobs require psych eval before you take it. I mean, I like to know what that actually means by psych eval. Does that mean does that mean you're crazy? I mean, am I crazy? Does that mean because I question what they do means I'm crazy? I mean, I get it. These people were right. Their deaths were wrong. And they should not have died. That part I do agree with. That's the only part I agree with. But suing the company is wrong. You sue the person who pulled the trigger. That's who you go after. You don't go after the company. You're sending the wrong message. Well, with that being said, I got other things I have to do today. And hit the like button, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications. With that being said, I'm out of here. Peace.